In April 2012, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and members of his cabinet paid a visit to Petite Soufriere, a small village on the east coast of Dominica, as part of government's continued efforts to get a first-hand view of the state of affairs of communities around the island. The walkthrough gave Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and cabinet colleagues a greater appreciation of the living conditions of residents in that area. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit was also able to have personal conversations with many of the villagers who are happy to share their concerns. For many years, Petite Soufriere's rough terrain has hindered its infrastructural development, and on this visit, the Prime Minister and other government ministers sought to address the ongoing plight of community members. The Prime Minister and his cabinet colleagues spent a considerable amount of time walking through the community and visiting the homes of constituents, irrespective of the physical challenges they faced when accessing some areas. One such destination was the home of Mr. Peter Constance. After what seemed like a never-ending downward spiral, the government officials made a surprise visit to the man who has for many years called this place home. Peter inherited the property from his father, who had lived on the land many years before. At present, the land is experiencing some severe erosion. After a thorough examination of his situation, the Prime Minister offered to provide assistance. Prime Minister Skerrit advised that Mr. Constance find alternative accommodation for the safety of himself and his family.
And there's one family in particular who is still residing in a particular home, and this home is in a very precarious location. So we have respectfully suggested to him that he may need to look at rental accommodation as an interim measure. But clearly he can't stay there because anytime anything can happen, and we do not want to have a situation where his entire family is in this house and God forbid something were to happen to him. So he has agreed to that.
Within the last few years, residents of Petite Soufriere were faced with several landslides, some fatal, leaving some families homeless, while others had to be evacuated from their homes completely. During the hurricane season in 2011, Dominica suffered significant infrastructural damage following torrential rains, flooding and landslides. Government has since sought financial help from the World Bank to address poor road conditions in the east of the island as a result of the storms. In addition, government has also implemented a public support program to assist families who have been affected by the natural disasters. Following the tour, GIS caught up with the Prime Minister. He says when people's livelihoods have been affected, his government cannot stand aside and be unresponsive.
Well, as you know, Petite Soufriere in the past and in the recent past also have had some tremendous challenges with landslides in particular. So it is considered to be a highly vulnerable community, and with the recent storm there, we had several landslides, and these landslides have caused some homes to be in real danger. We have advised some of the families to move. In some cases, they have moved and they're in rented accommodation, and the government will assist these families who are renting to meet the cost of the rent until the government is in a position to build new homes for them.
For those affected by natural disasters in Petite Soufriere, Prime Minister Skerrit says his government is prepared to take the necessary measures to ensure these people are looked after.
In the long term, the government has some lands in Saint-Sauveur, and we will be moving very soon with the construction of the access road to these several acres of land. I have been advised that the Lands and Survey Department have in fact subdivided that area, and we just need to put the road there, and we will allocate the lots to first those who have been affected by natural disasters, Of course, we have some families in Sansobe also who've been affected by natural disasters, by landslides, and those persons will be accommodated. And the government itself will also build new homes at no cost to these families, in our effort towards addressing and alleviating the plight. Now, this is not compensation, because really and truly it's a natural disaster. It's not an act of the government that has caused the person to be injured. And they have called this place home for several decades. Some of them have inherited the homes from their parents and improved on it. So we really have to assist these people, and we give them this assurance.
Parliamentary Representative Honorable Johnson Drago says residents that were affected by natural disasters in Petite Soufriere have been placed high on the priority list for new homes.
We are going to do our best to speed up the proposed site that we have in Sansobe for the relocation of the families who are affected by the landslide we had 2 years ago. So we have acquired additional lots so we can also house those who have been affected by this November disaster.
During the Petite Soufriere tour, the Prime Minister and Cabinet members visited several elderly citizens in the village. The pathway leading down to the home of Mr. Rufus Dangoben consists of muddied, unlevel steps with no handrails for support. When raining, it can be incredibly dangerous to tread. Mr. Dangoben, who has been blind for some time, is cared for by his wife, Rumina. The Prime Minister, taking note of the restriction that this walkway poses for Mr. Dangoben and his wife, recommended that some form of enhancement be done to the walkway to accommodate the couple. Currently, both Mr. and Mrs. Dangoben benefit from the government's public assistance program. They were extremely pleased that the Prime Minister took the time to pay them a visit. One elderly couple and their extended family were just happy to be in the company of the Prime Minister. Next stop on the tour was the home of Mr. and Mrs. Copel. Macville and Edith Copel had relocated to their current home since having to evacuate completely from their original place of residence in Shawshaw, an area that is prone to severe landslides. The Prime Minister sat with the elderly couple and discussed their present situation. He understood the couple's day-to-day struggles and made several recommendations, including providing assistance in payment of monthly rent and household bills.
The person who's going to his house,
they are not there. The husband is in hospital, and the wife went down this morning to take care of him.
Doesn't need the name.
Yes. And Yuna Duran, his wife. But he himself knows nothing about because...
All whose name did like this on?
How?
All whose name did like this on that you?
So when she got the insurance to me, I paid it.
Prime Minister Skerrit also approved compassionate allowance for the couple and assured them that they will be among the list of people that will receive a new home paid for by the government.
The option we have is for Sansobe. The government has land there. Right, okay, the government has land there. And we just have to put the road to go further to access the land. So we've already taken a decision, the government, that the land priority will be given to those affected by the disaster in Petite Soufriere and Sansobe. So we will discuss it further in cabinet, and then we'll start moving quickly to the road. And people like yourself who have had to evacuate completely, the government will build houses. Okay?
The Compassionate Allowance Program is a government initiative that provides financial assistance to people who have given long and dedicated service to the country. Any such person who has found themselves in a position which warrants a level of assistance would be considered eligible for compassionate allowance. Honorable Johnson Drago, parliamentary representative for the Petite Soufriere constituency, says he was pleased that the Prime Minister took the time out of his busy schedule to visit his constituents.
And I must say that the residents of Petite Soufriere were so appreciative of the visit. They've been longing to see the Prime Minister in person, They've been listening to him on the radio. They are hearing all his proclamations on support for them. They are benefiting from the programs that he has been implementing, like the Yes We Care program, the public assistance program. We have increased number of persons on the public assistance list in Petite Soufriere, and it is very important for us in Petite Soufriere because quite a few of our elderly folks are now blind and needing assistance. So we've been equal to the task, but it's just that they have not had that personal touch of the Prime Minister for a while. So you should have seen the hugs and the kisses, the smile on the faces of the elderly here in Petite Soufriere as the Prime Minister moved from home to home. I must say we gave him a big stretch because in Petite Soufriere you have to follow the tracks and walk deep to meet the families in their environment. And this is what the Prime Minister was able to do today.
As housing continues to be an issue for the people of Petite Soufriere, Parliamentary Representative Honourable Johnson Drago has submitted to Cabinet a list of constituents who are in dire need of housing assistance.
We went into several homes and the Prime Minister was able to make his own assessment of the situation of the families. As a matter of fact, we have presented a list of about 40 names for housing assistance, and the Prime Minister today took a decision to sort of expand on that. But some of the persons whom we were just going to do some repairs, in his assessment, they think that we should really take it a little further and add a bathroom on the houses for them, especially where we have elderlies who are blind and do not have proper toilet facilities, still have to go out. And we took the decision to assist with a number of footpaths leading to the homes of these individuals, because these persons still have to go to the health center for medical checkup and so on, and sometimes it's difficult for them. Other times it's difficult to get them out of their homes when they're ill and they have to be taken to the hospital. The dynamics of Petite Soufriere is different from a number of areas on the island.
Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit says his government will assist in areas of concern and measures will be taken to rectify housing matters that were identified in the community during the tour.
So we are even more, there's even more, there's a greater urgency rather towards making resources available to the village council to implement that aspect of the housing renovation program for us. So I will approve of these funds on Tuesday the 3rd of April, and these funds will be transferred to the village council of Petite Soufriere to assist with implementing repairs, much needed repairs to some homes, and of course the construction of washroom facilities for quite a few families.
During the day tour in the Petite Soufriere constituency, it was not hard to notice the prevalence of blindness, especially among elderly men. This was a concern for the Prime Minister, and the matter is currently under investigation by the Ministry of Social Services.
We also have a situation with blindness in Petite Soufriere, and we suspect that it's coming from the activities related to the bay oil industry here. Quite a few men are blind there, and it's something that the Ministry of Social Services must investigate, and where needed we should provide some special support to these families, because some of the men are at a stage where they could still work. They're still healthy and still strong, but just that they're blind. So we need to address these people's challenges and see how we can bridge the gap in what they need.
As government continues in its effort to upgrade road network across the island, the Petite Soufriere Rosalie Link Road is receiving much attention. Construction works on the Venezuelan-funded $20 million Petite Soufriere Rosalie Link Road is no longer just a vision of the government of Dominica. It is now becoming a reality. The site visit was an opportunity for the Prime Minister and other government officials to view firsthand the work that has already been done. Prime Minister Skerrit was also able to speak with contractors to get a clear sense of the next phase of this development, as the road is being constructed in phases. Ruben Mabare, General Manager of the Petite Soufriere Rosalie Link Road project, spoke with GIS to give an update on the works being done.
We have already done one phase that started last year on March and finished July. So we started the second phase in October last year. So now we are almost finished the second phase in the road. In the second phase, we clean the forest, open the road, the old track, the small track. Now is a big road. Everybody can pass over there. We made some box culvert for drain in the side in Rosalie. And basically is excavation and clean.
The Prime Minister says he commends the Venezuelan contractors for leading the way with this project.
We visited the Petite Soufriere Rosalie Road. It's a major piece of infrastructure. It is something that the people of Petite Soufriere and Saint-Tropez have been asking for quite a while now, for many decades. And it was felt that in the past that it wasn't possible. And I must commend the engineers from Venezuela and the contractors from Venezuela, the workers from Venezuela who are leading the process there, for the tremendous job that they have done. They have assisted us in designing the road and in some cases even advising on the realignment of the original design. And clearly they're highly skilled and highly knowledgeable at what they're doing. And I am personally very impressed and very pleased with the progress. And the people of the Petite Soufriere, Saint-Tropez communities are very grateful for this infrastructure.
After the site visit, contractors spent some time with the Prime Minister going over the blueprint design for the Petite Soufriere Rosalie Link Road. Prime Minister Skerrit says the new road will have a significant impact on the socio-economic standing of the entire country once it has been completed. He praised the government of Venezuela for this major infrastructural development and says he is very grateful.
One of the things we like to also place on record for is the tremendous support of the government and people of Venezuela through President Chavez, and of course ably assisted by his very hardworking ambassador here in Dominica, who are very helpful. And it shows the people of Dominica how that special and differential relationship between Dominica and Venezuela have been of exceptional benefit to the people of Dominica. And this is a major undertaking. I mean, this project will cost in excess of $27 million. And so far it has been solely funded by the government of Venezuela, and there's a commitment to see it to completion. And this is under the Petro-Carib-Alba arrangement. And these are the kind of practical issues which Alba addresses. People think Alba is this ideological grouping, and we come and we say this and that about countries and people. This is not the case at all. It's about sitting down, looking at our individual countries, doing assessments and evaluations, listening to the respective leadership from the countries and explaining what the issues are confronting these countries, and in Alba and Petro-Carib, seeing how in a practical and tangible way we can assist these countries and these communities. And we see it all over the country, and we're very grateful for that project. And we're excited about the completion, and I have no doubt it will benefit the people of not only of Saint-Tropez, Good Hope and Petite Soufriere, but the entire country.
Meanwhile, Parliamentary Representative Honourable Johnson Drygo says this is a major road network being constructed and he is satisfied with the project thus far.
It's a really big project that we are undertaking there. The Petite Soufriere Rosalie Link Road is a huge project. A lot of work has been done, and there's still a lot more work to be done. It's a $20 million project, so it's a massive project. But most importantly is the satisfaction of the people of Petite Soufriere. They are very satisfied with the progress so far. They understand government limitation as far as funds are concerned, and they know that government is committed to doing all the projects that government plan to do.
The purpose of the trip is for us to get out of our offices and go to people's homes, go to people's communities, go where they farm, go where they live, go to work, go where they are educated, and to see firsthand the issues. Because sometimes people report things to you and it's not very clear as to what are the real challenges. I mean, for the Member of Parliament, we do get reports. But it's always good to go along to the people because most of the people can't come to your offices to see you. And it's always better to go in somebody's home and sit down and person can, in a private manner, a very comfortable manner, explain to you the challenges. And in many cases, people want to see you and want to say thanks to the government for the tremendous help that we've given to them personally and also to the communities and to the country. So it's a very important outing, and it is something that we will continue. We will visit every single constituency in the country, and we will commitment to that. Decisions are taken here for immediate action because the Minister of Finance is on a trip also, and we authorize for works to be done where we see there is a great urgency for it. Like in Petite Soufriere, a number of things that we've given instructions to do, building homes for people, improving the access to the homes, addressing the issues of the health care of the people. So we're tangible way of addressing these people, and of course that's what the government has been doing, that's what the party has been doing, is making itself available to the people, and that's what representation is about.